The ultimate guide. How to get the job you want. Your job application is probably the most important letter you will write in your life. It's a sales letter whose simple task is to sell you. But if you're not a sales letter writer by trade, what chance do you have of succeeding? Frankly, pretty slim, if you don't get help. I've found that getting a job is all about marketing, except that the product is you. In this special report, I'll reveal a simple method for how you can actually get the job you want. There are 8 steps. 1. Preparation. 2. Targeting. 3. Email. 4. Paper cover letter plus CV. 5. Phone call. 6. Job interview. 7. Follow-up. 8. Job placement and salary negotiation. The battle is won before it is fought. So said the famous Chinese war strategist Sun-Tzu over 2,500 years ago. It still holds true today, even when it comes to finding a job. That's why background work is the most important step in this process. But it's completely useless if you don't follow these steps to the end. Until the end. In other words, this only works if you act. Where do you really want to work? Is the job you're looking for just that, or perhaps a step towards it? Now is the time for the truth. Modesty is a good thing, but this is your life. Usually, the job goes to the person who sells themselves best. And the selling starts much earlier than people think. Cover letters will get you in the door, so make sure you don't slog through them. 85% of cover letters don't get you an interview. The first paragraph is the most important. In a review of 150 letters, 2/3 of them contained errors, such as misspelling the job title. 15 addressed the female CEO as "Dear Sir." Only 6 listed the same qualities in their application as in the advertisement. Many people think that job search is a numbers game where quantity replaces quality. That's why they send the same, frankly shoddily written application to every place. The result? None of the recipients will understand what you could do for them specifically, if you don't approach them with precision. Chapter 1. Preparation. Consider why you are different and could be different from other job seekers. Think about what is the only thing you could offer your potential employer? What benefits would they gain if they hired you? Spend a lot of time on this because you literally have your life on the line. Warning: don't sell your freedom just for the money. Demand a job you like. Use psychology to sell yourself to your employer. You'll get much better results that way. Do your preparation carefully. Find out what is happening in the market. Read everything you can get your hands on. Your goal is to understand your target as well as possible, because only that will help you tailor your application to be interesting and attractive to your reader. Think about what problems they might have, and how you, of all people, could solve them. The old salesman's truth is, nobody buys a drill, they buy a hole in the wall. You are hired to solve problems. So sell results, not features. Think about the kind of place you would like to work. Is it big or small? What kind of culture? Write it all down. And that's not all. Are you really right for it? Chapter 2. Choosing a business. List the best companies in your opinion and approach them first by email. Chapter 3. Email message. This next one may sound a bit unusual, but it works well. Tease your target. Your aim is simply to get the company's management or recruiters to notice that something interesting is about to happen. Here's a simple template for an email. Subject: watch your mail next Wednesday. Hi, first name. I'll be sending you a paper letter in the post shortly that may be of interest to you. Best regards, name. Or, issue: would you like to increase your sales? Keep your eyes open. Hello, first name. You and I have never met, but I'll send you a letter. I'll send you a paper letter in the post next Wednesday. Its contents could be very valuable to you, so pay attention. Yours sincerely, name. What you need to know about this tactic. The message will state the exact date of arrival and that it is a paper letter, so as not to be confused with an email. Why? Because it's more credible and timely. The more accurate, the better. It also makes the recipient of the email think that this guy is serious. Paragraph 4. Cover letter and CV. The world is full of job application templates, although most of them are completely useless. As I said at the very beginning, your job application is usually the most important letter you write in your life. Its job is to sell you. That's why it can make or break your career. A few facts about your letter to the company. Your letter usually determines whether you get an interview. Your letter is more important than your CV. Never send a CV without a cover letter. Include your photo. People want to see who they would be working with. An honest photo is best. The aim of your application is to get you an interview. The goal of the interview is to get you a job. I'm sure you can list your CV, so I won't spend time on that. A good sales letter is like a good salesman. It tells the reader every reason to hire you. And it can be as long as 2 or 3 pages. Because usually the more you tell, the more you sell. But remember, the first paragraph of your application must be so good that people will read beyond that. In the first paragraph, you need to effectively convince the company of the value you bring to the company. If the opening of your letter is lousy, the length doesn't matter because no one will read it. So how can you make it interesting? Write in a way that makes the reader feel, this is for me. Just for me. Write about things that interest them, not you. Now it's time to dig out the background work you've done. What motivates the recipient of your letter? For example, the sales manager wants more sales. Tell them how you could do that. Give as specific, practical examples as possible. Prove your point. Do you have comments from an old boss, your teacher, anything, to convince a company contact that you are worth meeting? What is he or she interested in? At least in promoting his own career or what? Who wouldn't be? Your background will also help you in the interview process. What is he afraid of? He certainly doesn't want to hire someone he can't get rid of if the decision is wrong. Here's an example that might work well. Hello, first name. I'm writing to you because I saw your ad. I'm calling because I saw your ad for an account manager. It seems that your company wants to achieve a lot. By now you must have your hands full with applications, so why would I be the right choice, or at least an appointment? Worth a meeting? There are at least 5 simple reasons. Then list your reasons and benefits with evidence, plus references from former employers. A few comments on the application letter. It starts by talking about the recipient. It is very specific. It sells the appointment. It subtly flatters the reader, you must be busy. You must have a lot of applications, etc. It makes the reader's life easy because you do everything for him. It's enough for him to answer the phone. It shows that you are punctual and that you keep your word. Remember to call exactly when you say you will. It gives you the opportunity to say no effortlessly. You don't want to waste your time on something that will never work. Contrary to popular belief, you can boldly ask, "Are you interested?" And that usually improves the results. Try it if you don't. If you don't think so. In 1923, copywriter Claude Hopkins wrote in his book, "Make your offer so good that only idiot would say no." Hopkins' advice still holds true, even when it comes to job hunting. If you can remove the fear of failure from your reader with your offer, you're in a strong position. This may surprise you, but according to the latest research in behavioral science, in humans, the fear of losing is twice as great as the desire to gain. That's why you might say something like this. "I'm willing to come to work for a month without pay. If you don't think I've done enough, I promise to quit." You can't lose. What does that offer do for you? At least 2 things. 1. Minimize your employer's risk. 2. Tells them you're serious and believe in your abilities enough to prove them. Are you starting to realize that getting a job is a pretty simple process that you can break down into small, manageable steps? Your job is just to keep moving forward with it all the time, no matter how slowly, as long as you keep moving forward. What if no one answers your calls or emails you? If you're serious about reaching out to someone, you can usually do it if you're persistent. Believe it. 3 thoughts on this. 1. Don't be afraid to tell the truth. 2. Make a clear offer that is hard to refuse. 3. Decision-making in companies can take a long time. That's why it pays to make the effort to stay in the mind of the decision maker when the time comes. That's why a reminder letter or call usually works well. Chapter 5. Phone call. The purpose of this is 1. To remind. 2. To make sure your application was received. 3. To remind you. To show that you are active. 4. To allow the interviewer to talk to you before deciding whether it is worth meeting you. Sometimes your call can save a bad letter. And sometimes just the fact that you made the effort to call can be the difference. You see, most applicants are too lazy or too timid to do that. So you're probably already one step ahead of the others when you call. What to say on the phone? First, remember that it's all about steps. Each step's sole purpose is to move you forward towards the goal. The purpose of your call is to set up an interview. The purpose of the interview is to get you the job. Introduce yourself by your full name and tell them you're calling because you sent a job application saying you'd call today. Matti Michaelainen speaking. I'm calling you because I sent you a job application saying I would call you today. Did you get the letter I sent you? It came to you early last week, probably on Tuesday. You did? That's great. Would you be interested in meeting me? That's nice to hear. Yes, next Thursday at 2 p.m. at your office is fine with me. You're a product that needs to be seen live, if you don't already know it yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, why should anyone else? A few things you'll probably encounter. Many people may sound nasty on the phone, but when you meet them face to face they are friendly and even funny. People are usually simply protective of themselves and their time. That's why they only meet people worth meeting, like you, if you can see them. Make the effort. Chapter 6. Meeting. A big day. Do yourself a favor and think of a few small talk topics in advance. It doesn't have to be about your field. It might even be better to show you're human by talking about something mundane first. An easy way to find topics that suit everyone is to scroll through the big news of the day or week. Then you can ask a question about them. Even if it's a job interview, try to get your interviewer to talk. Yes, you read that right. In fact, listen more than you talk. Think of questions in advance. Show that you are interested in him and his company. Why? Because your interviewer is a human being. Like you and me, he is interested in himself. Plus, when you listen carefully, you'll be able to put your best foot forward to answer what she's looking for. Does this sound reasonable to you so far? I really can't stress enough how important it is for you to listen and ask questions. Finally, don't leave the interview without knowing what happens next. Keep the ball in your court. Ask, when will you make a decision? Is it okay if I call you then? Chapter 7. Follow-up. After the interview, send a handwritten thank you card, or even an email. What if you don't get the job? Don't give up. Could you be useful to them later? Maybe you could be in touch again then? Make an appointment. It's also worth asking, do you know anyone else who might be looking for someone like me? Usually people want to help. Chapter 8. Getting a job. Your phone rings. The caller wants to hire you. There's one more step before you say yes. A salary negotiation. This is not one to skip. Before you sign your contract, it's time to talk about your salary. The next opportunity may not come for years. A $200 raise in salary per month with good justification doesn't sound like blatant greed. The next good moment to talk about your salary may be a long time coming. And as you saw, even a small amount can add up to a big one over time. Thanks for watching this far. I hope this video was helpful.